Welcome back to our third segment. It's going to focus on mental states, emotions, characters, personality types. This is what we're going to talk about now. The most important character in this game, oh sorry, that's me. This person is the most important character. Professor Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the founder of positive psychology, discoverer of flow, creativity and happiness guru. He himself chose the plot. He said why we need the winery. He himself designed the personage, the personality types in the game. The next element, which is very entertaining on my courses, is when we speak of the different persons. Everybody, when you play it, has a character whom you really liked, and some characters you didn't like, and some characters maybe you even hated. Once I had a person who said, I didn't like Mr. FLIGBY, he always wanted to interfere, he always talked about this. Well, that's the design of the game. He is an entertainer, a virtual coach, maybe also a troublemaker, because very often he's saying actually the opposite of the dilemma you're facing, right? So he's been designed like that. Take it as a challenging opportunity to think whether he's right or not. But you can also take it as input into your critical thinking. The next character whom I would like to say a few words about is Bob to Rule, okay? The owner of this company. He tells you at the beginning that he wants you to take over, turn around the company around the flow promoting principles described in Good Business by Csikszentmihalyi, the individual flow, the team atmosphere, the profitability and the sustainability. But at the same time, there are tensions which you experience that he's maybe too immanent, too strongly in the organization. So how do you handle this dilemma? What you do with him is something you should ponder about and maybe discuss with the colleagues, the co-players or your coach. So Bob to Rule is a character not on the flow radar, because Csikszentmihalyi said that you hardly influence his mental state. That's why you will not find him on this. Next person is Alex, okay? He is a very popular person with quite a few players. I have been training thousands of people, but there's around 10-15% of the people who say, I liked his principles. He's diplomatic and I know what he wants. He's telling it, it's very difficult. Yet others say that he's a bit too arrogant, too principled. So in the personality profile you want to go deeper, he would be somebody whom we would call a persister, right? He adheres to what his opinion is and he wants others to have the same opinion. So that's his values. On the next person in this category would be Chris. We would call him the workaholic, right? So Chris is somebody who likes order. He likes to plan and takes on responsibility for his area of influence. That's why cooperating with him is very difficult, because he feels fear of letting it go, and any change in the system of the technology of producing wines, night harvest, is a big threat for him. He rather prefers to resolve the problems with the machine and the pump than to stay on with a strategic meeting. So how would you decide in the real context when you have a great IT person, a great finance expert, an auditor, somebody in engineering like Chris is, or production manager who's doing his job very well or her job very well, but doesn't want to get involved in vague strategic questions or principles? Antagonist or opponent to Alex is Rebecca, right? In my world of personalities, this type of person is called the charming manipulator. Manipulator means that they have very strong energies and flow, so to say, on taking decisions instead of others, and which is to their benefit. They're driven by numbers, output, activities, and some people say that she is too aggressive, they say. Well, it is true that she has difficulties understanding that whatever she's doing is a team result. The wines, the To Rule Winery brand name is not just her energy of selling it to a price. It's actually a joint effort. It's a joint outcome over many, many years that it has evolved. Another person whom you might want to discuss with your colleagues, and many people actually like, is Ellen, surprisingly. She's so helpful. She always knows with good advice what I should be doing. It's very easy to lean back for you as a young leader next to such a person. This person would be the harmonizer. No conflicts should emerge. Everybody should be happy. But is she doing everything she was in charge of? Did she deliver in the shop? Did the sales improve? Did she change her personal image? Okay. Coming back to Rebecca, I should also say that she is very aggressive. She's harassing her because of her age. So that's absolutely unacceptable, of course. Yet Rebecca is the person who many business people love because she brings in the cash flow. And if you're in charge of sales, of anything where there's financial output, then this is the winner for you usually, because it's such a big pain to get the numbers. So for Ellen, it is the question, where do you draw her boundaries, where she should focus on her agenda and not on others. Here's Larry. You know, Larry in my world is the dreamer, the innovator with his great ideas, but where do those ideas come to reality? If you don't support him, they will evaporate. So you need to place him also on the balance between different interests, like Chris, who doesn't want to have change, but this innovation around the night harvest, is that a good idea? Would that make business sense? Is that Rebecca's idea, or is that something for the long run? Here I have got Jen. Many people have misery with Jen, but in my understanding, she is probably the most loyal person in the Turul winery. You know, the others all have their own professional agenda. Larry, he will inherit the company. That's not even a professional, but a personal agenda. But all the others, they have their own ideas on what they want to achieve as a professional using Turul winery. And I think Jen is really authentically interested in doing the best she can in this community. And many companies spend so many time and energy and efforts on getting involved with CSR or sustainability. Now it's ESG. And Jen is actually the person well connected in the community where they live. So think about that, how to handle her. And here is Joe. Is it something about his work attitude that he's late, or is it actually the work timings which we give him? If you have ever worked in an organization which has 24 hours or almost 24 hours operations, many supermarkets, hotels are like this, airports, right? So you have actually 2 or 3 sets of shifts, and somebody needs to connect these people. He is creating the value when others are already way at home and sleeping. So of course, in the next morning, he will be tired. Did you consider that? And so this is a portfolio, a défilé of the different personality types. The essence is that you should have your own understanding of what is the person's personality. And then in FLIGBY, you exercise the next level, which is understanding each of these characters' skills. Okay? You get people into flow when you apply their skills with a relevant challenge where they can use those opportunities to have action.